Welcome, fight fans, to the Fighters Boys Kick-Ass Podcast. Your Fight Talk Authority. Not to mention the most entertaining and talked about podcast with your kick-ass host, Richard Ortiz.
You mad? Come at me, bro.
And his loyal kick-ass co-host, Senor Cole Escovedo. Streaming live and worldwide. Coming to you all the way live from a little place somewhere in Cali. The Fighters Boys Kick-Ass Podcast.
Especially like when it digs in, like when you feel them just rip into your like liver, and you're just like, oh, hold on. Like I had that dirty move when I would do sparring. Pop will test for this. JT will test for this. Anybody from our fight team will test for this. When Cole would get tired, he would just blast you in the liver. Like when he would get tired. That's how Cole was just like, okay, so if I put him down right now with a liver shot, I get to rest the rest of the round until he gets back up. That's gonna buy me a minute, because this would be like round 7, 8, 9, things like that. And so for the training day, you'd just be like, dog, tired, dude. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Oh, bam, dude. Oh, and Papa would be like, stop it. Just take the round, you cardio. You need it. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm tired, bro. But if I could still put him down right now, why not? Yeah. And I've taken those. I took one in the Mizugaki fight. Well, I took like several in the Mizugaki fight. And like the one right before the round ended, I took it. And you see my elbow go down, and I buckle backwards, and I back up, and Joe Rogan's like, oh, that one hurt him. And he came in, and like the round ended, and I was like, oh, and I'm back in the corner. I'm just going, oh, dude, that hurts so bad. Pop's like, just breathe, Brad, you better get it together. You got like less than a minute, dude. Let's go. And I was just,
were you moving around?
Yeah. Well, no, because at the end of the round, I had to go and sit down, and he's like, stretch, arms up. He's like, stretch, deep breath, and I'm like, dude, I get hurts, and he's like, you got less than a minute. Let's go, push it out. And Pop was always really good about that. Like guys like Mike Pop, Crazy Bob Cook from AKA. There's just those are like the two main guys that I've had in my career, to the point where like I've hit up Bob Cook and go, hey, I got a title fight coming up like 2 weeks or something, like 3 weeks or whatever. I saw that somebody from your team is supposed to be on that card. Are you going to be going with it all? And if he'll say, yeah, and then I'll say, hey, can you do me a favor? If he says no, then I'll say, can you do me a double favor? Can you come down and corner me? You know what I mean? Like I've had guys like Bob, David Camarillo and stuff come. Dan Camarillo was there for my first fight. He was like one of the only people that showed up that I had backstage. Like the first fight, dude, it was crazy. So, but anyway, enough about that, Garjan. So, as you can see, guys, we kind of got mid-conversation when you came up with this. We have Alejandro Avalos. He's going to be fighting in Combate on February 28th. I saw that you were like fight number 3 or 4 on the card, kind of early stages. Didn't they move you last time from like early till farther back in the card? Did they move you too?
This is our hometown.
Yeah,
it's the crowd. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So
they watch me fight and they go home.
Exactly.
Else.
Promoters take note of that, and they're like, well, hold on, because not until like really the last minutes before the event gets going can you look at it and go, those are a lot of Avalos shirts. Yeah. Hey, let's do me a favor. Let's move these guys around. Let's get them closer to the main. You know what I mean? Because once people watch your fight, if the main card is next, or you get bumped up to somewhere in the main card, then that makes them stay. They'll usually just stick out at that point. Yeah, if they've been there all night already, they're like, dude, we've been here all night already. I'm a couple cervezas deep. Let's just watch the fights for a while. Yeah, exactly. And that's good. That's smart to do. So on this outing, you're fighting Roger Severson. Is that correct? Yes. Severson or Severson? Severson. Raj, I apologize, man. I'm really bad with names. I don't know how it is sometimes. Like but you know, Jean-Jacques Machado or something, or Hoyler, it's easy. It rolls off the tongue. Those are the legends. So what do you know about him? I know he's, 3-4, and he's like, 1-2-1. That means like a no contest. So he's got a loss or a win, 2 losses, and then a no contest in his last 4. What else do you really know about Roger going into this fight?
38 years old. I'm sure he's seasoned. He's a seasoned vet. Let's see. He's one of those sideways fighters like Thompson. Mm-hmm. Fights in that Taekwondo type style.
Oh, he's got like that side karate Taekwondo kind of stance. Yeah.
Type of stance. That's all I really seen. Good for kicks. I just seen his latest fight. Just seen his fight style and
just throw a lot of kicks.
Yeah.
A
lot of kicks.
That's why that stance is that way. It allows a person, I'm not saying him in particular, but Joe Rogan talks about it all the time. It allows him to like snap off because you're already basically halfway there.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of throwing it getting your hips in there, and then slingshotting that leg in there. Right. I mean, that's just why those stances work so well for like Taekwondo.
They flick their high kicks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when you get those flicks, though, man, you lose power. Like those flicks, it's almost like a weak jab sometimes, but it leaves you so vulnerable. So you really got to like a wet towel. Like the goal is to like kind of just snap it in there, and so
the good
looks
thing about
fast.
it is that you don't go through, so you don't give your back up.
Yeah, you're not
They
committing.
give the opportunity to get somebody to
But
come in.
you give up damage ability for mobility would be the best way to explain it. You're giving up that power slam by committing to it, but you're staying mobile in case it goes south. You can pull out like a batter swinging, and just not at the last second. Yeah, you could throw it and then like pull it real quick and regain your balance or move.
Sets up fakes,
feints, things like that.
Sets up other stuff.
If I had an opponent that would reach, when I would feint, I would reach. It's good for the feint. But if he reaches, then you've got him, kind of thing. Yeah. So you watch this. So you've seen some film on. Do you generally watch film of your opponents, or you just kind of leave that up to coach, or?
I send them to my coaches. I let them do the game planning. I just watch it once and I see what I'm dealing with, and that's it.
So you will watch it one time and then
I just see the top three strikes that he tends to use. And that's it.
Just so you have a first eye view.
I ask my coach, look, I see this. Let's work some counters.
Yeah, and that's good to collaborate on film together. It's like coaches and quarterbacks watching and going, well, look here, every single time that rush, it gets around wide. Every single time they're sacking him. Every single time they're sacking him. We need to make sure we're doubled up on that side. If we're going to run that long, maybe 4-step back hike, they're getting around it. So the dude's fast or whatever. So we need to double up on him. Kind of things like that. Well, that's good. Have you ever seen anything that makes you go, dude, we got this?
Well, I always feel that way when I fight. I always feel like we got this, The only thing different about this fight is I'm actually moving up to 145.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So what have you changed in your work? I imagine you're lifting more, eating more, calorie intake.
And when you're happy and you're feeling good, I feel like that's the best performance. And
yeah, Connor would talk about that.
Cut. I just weighed in at 146. I'm on weight.
Yeah.
My coach, I posted it. My coach was like, go get something to eat. I was like, I went to go eat.
It's kind of a double-edged sword. I spent a lot of my career not having to cut weight. I would always just walk around at that weight class. The problem is you get some guys that are bigger and they cut. But they're cutting, so they're hurting. It does take a drain out of your body. No matter what method you come up with, unless there's some magic thing that we've never heard of, you are draining your body. Yeah. You're getting fluid out. It's hurting your effect. It will take effect on you in a fight at some point, just a matter of how you adjust to it and things like that. So there's
always depleted at 135.
Yeah, so
I was having to do that long 10
yeah, and that hurts you. Oh, dude, yeah.
And that could throw off your
mind. Yeah. You cut 1 pound too much.
Instead of focusing on the game plan,
you're trying to focus on the recovery or the fatigue. And that's where the science has changed a little bit. You get guys that can cut that 10 pounds like it's nothing, but if you don't have to, why? And that's why I've always said there should be more weight classes. Just in the kind of like boxing, it sucks. I don't want to say flood the market with belts, but what I'm saying is it'll bring truer weight class fights. You can almost eliminate this whole weight cutting problem, not necessarily overnight, but a generation, maybe 2 generations of fighters later.
You might see some more exciting fights.
Exactly. Right? You're going to see less fatigued fighters, fights not falling through because someone died. I mean, take Ray Borg, for example. Ray Borg was just on he just fought on this fight night. Yeah, he just fought on this fight night. He missed weight by, I think, 3 pounds and ended up coughing up like 30% of his fight purse. But, do you make the guy push that 3 pounds or you risk losing your fight? So you're stuck in that position of, well, I'll get 20% of that in the UFC, or the commission or whatever gets, I think 10% of it. So yeah, that's 20% added to my purse for just showing up. And Borg ended up winning that fight, by the way. He won a decision. So, and he's missed weight multiple times. At what point, or how many times do you have to miss weight before you tell yourself, okay, maybe I should just move up? You know what I mean? And you're not notorious for that, but a guy like Borg is. So it's like, how many times do you let that happen? Like, if it were you, let's say you're Borg's coach, let's say you're Ray's coach, and you're gonna go, dude, we missed weight again. Would you talk them into moving up in a weight class, or would you just still be constantly cool standing by as a coach and going, all right, well, we missed weight again?
Well, let's try a nutrition coach first. And
supposedly he's had this plan that he's been changing everything. After the last time he missed weight, he said, hey, I'll bounce out of the UFC if I don't make weight ever again. I've got a new plan, a new game plan. I'm taking it smart. I'm taking it serious. And this is nothing against Ray. It's nothing against you, dude. It's just you happen to be the motherfucker that the scenario is being chosen to explain about. Is you have these changes they say they're going to do. that takes a whole nother commitment on top of the commitment to training. So it's like you have to like double down on the work ethic. You have to be really committed. I don't know if you've started with I'm sure before when you were having to cut so much weight, you have diet plans, meal plans. So you know there's a lot of time and energy, frustration. Now see, that's what hurts.
Running in the sauna suit. It's just like, no.
Yeah.
I haven't even gone to sauna once. I just took a nap, woke up on weight.
Well, yeah, and that's, you know, I've seen dudes like drinking chocolate milk before weigh-ins. It's like, what is he doing? They're like, oh no, we went like, they're wrestlers. We went a couple pounds over, and we want to start hydrating. You know, and milk's not going to put that much weight back on. They were like, he's not going to drink 2 pounds of milk. He's going to have a thing of chocolate milk. He's going to get rehydrated. He's going to feel good. But when you don't have to cut weight, you don't have to worry about that. You know, Connor said that when he was moving up, the first time he fought Diaz, he was like, I felt heavy. I felt slow. And it showed. He was not okay at that weight, like at all. But then the second time they fought, it still wasn't enough strength-wise, size-wise to put Nate away, because you got to kill that kid, like, period. Yeah. That's just how he's going to have to die. But he moved a lot better, and then we see him at the third time at 170 against Cerrone, and he's just moving like it's night and day. So it's good. I think 170 is a good weight for him, but like I said, you get those guys that can be at a more natural weight, and he kind of gained weight to do it, but he was probably walking around at like 65 anyway. You know what I mean? So it'll probably make you feel better in the fight. How's your sparring felt as far as that goes with the we were talking
the other day about you can't always train with partners who you can always beat up on.
Yeah, if you're the best at your camp, you need to change camps.
So this time I put myself as being the nail. I was the hammer. And I put myself as being the nail. I took thank to Coach Rudy. He took me to AKA to go.
Oh yeah, dude, that's a slaughterhouse up there, bro.
Like, I was the nail.
They'll let you get it
with the UFC fighter who has a fight like I think this weekend or something.
Oh yeah, nice.
A lot of Bellator fighters who are fighting this Friday.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. You guys both went up there.
Yeah,
nice.
We were out there with the Coach Rudy and you know, we went to DC's house. It was just it's crazy rubbing shoulders with these guys who just see on.
Now, have you gone up there before to train?
Never.
Okay, so
I've been out there for 2 weeks already.
So then you can agree with me. It's hard the first time you go up there not to just be kind of like. Like just like all these guys that are here, like it's just a house full of just dudes that have had a belt or have a belt right now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, like this is what. Yeah, exactly.
Let me see where I'm at.
Yeah, and then you'll find out.
I noticed these guys are so composed. Their heart rate does not rise. While you think it's light sparring, let me throw.
They're stretching
you down, and they're trying to get to the angle where they can land that nice right that's gonna pop you back.
Yeah, they want to give you a little taste and say, hey,
the clean hit. They don't care about the 1, 2, 3 kick.
They're waiting for that opening. Yeah. And they're pushing you the whole time though.
They didn't teach me that. Best believe I was learning. What
they
were getting me.
Yeah, you'll learn up there. I remember getting my ass kicked by Josh Thompson tons of times.
I was discouraged the first time I went. I was like, damn, just when I thought I was ready. I came home with this fire of getting ready. Man, I came home that night with my leg blasted out. I went to go swim. I went to go hit the bag. And I needed to punish myself a bit and continue moving forward. Woke up the next day, just training
made you better
hard, so I can go back next Monday
and learn more.
Do it again.
Yeah.
And I sparred versus these guys, and Khabib brought all the Russians, and it was a packed house, and it was a better experience.
He's getting close. He's like he's like a month and a half out. Yeah, but it makes you better because you have to get better to actually. Because here's the thing: the better you get, the more they'll teach you, because you're getting better than you were last time. So now, like, okay, he's learned from last time. He's improved himself. Okay, now what can I do? Now how do I hit him? Now I'm going to teach him something new. Now I'm going to change games on him or something.
If you're not going to throw, I'm not going to give you nothing.
Exactly.
I'm not going to show you nothing. I'm going to do the same thing you're doing.
Yeah, but chess match.
Because we don't have to throw. It's not for the crowd. It's to win the fight. Right? At the end of the day.
That becomes the $1 million question.
To me, it's to win the fight. Like, I'm not getting paid enough to be putting a show on anyways. I'm just trying to win the fight, keep moving forward, keep progressing, and later on you'll see the best version of me.
And you get that, and I can totally get that. And the problem is I've seen so many fighters, like, careers just gonna go because they're not getting that little extra in there of what you got to do. I mean, you don't have to be a McGregor as far as his outgoing and outbursts.
Jose Aldo, how he came in all crazy, and then he got put out by McGregor. See, I don't want to be that person, and I feel like I spar that way because I'm a wrestler. I was always an offensive shooter, always trying to take the shot. Well, in this case, I bring it to striking, and I always want to come forward.
There's nothing wrong with just applying pressure.
Why not being defensive, like 50-50? Defense, 50-50 offense.
Strike, but be ready to get struck. It's as long as you can play that game. That's what my pop always used to say, strike, attack their attack. If he kicks, kick. Reyes was a perfect example of that. Anytime Jones went to throw a kick, he would kick. It doesn't matter what. He would just do it because he's like, we're going to clash shins, we're going to meet in the middle. I'm not going to check your kick. I'm just going to kick your kick. And we'll see who quits on that first. So, but yeah, it'll make you a better fighter because you'll have to learn, because what happens is if you come back the next time and haven't improved at all, then they'll just toy with you. Yeah. Because they're like this one, they're like, okay, cool, we're just gonna mess you up. I
got some good comments. They were like, dude, you're a true professional. This and this and this. And
you keep your composure, you treat it like it is.
I didn't see myself that way. I see myself as just down here, up and coming. These guys were like, dude, you're a true professional. I'm just like, I didn't know. That's the reason why I went over there. I wanted to see where I'm at. Man. I wanted to see where I'm at.
Well, yeah, you have to test your waters.
My jiu-jitsu game was really good. And like I was like, okay, they had this nice diamond defense that we're bringing into here in the valley, and they couldn't stop it. They would back up instead because they couldn't pass my guard.
So yeah, why commit to a mistake or get swept? I could back off and restart.
My guard replacement, they were happening to get back up.
Nice. So I imagine we'll see you in some fight to win.
I was like, that worked for me.
It gave you a little confidence boost.
That for me. I went back to my coach and I told Coach Mike Moreno, and I told him, hey, look, this is working. These guys didn't even know what was going on. They were looking. I could see it in their eyes.
Didn't have an answer.
No. And it was Chandra Ribeiro's stuff.
I bet. Yeah. I bet Sensei Mike was pretty jazzed about that then. He always likes anytime. Like, that guy is so passionate, bro. Like and I've seen like all factors of the emotion played out, like as passionate he is. Like I've seen the different emotions. I'm like, dude, that is a passionate guy, but he's just passionate about everything. Yeah. So like, I love seeing him get jazzed about competitions and events. It's the dude's like.
So I guess the hammer could only get hit. I mean, the nail could only get hit so much before it becomes so strong that no other hammer could break it.
Exactly.
So that's kind of what I was like, man, I got bent, but I'm getting stronger. And I'm looking forward to, after this fight, continuing what I'm doing and growing as a martial artist. I loved it. I loved being the nail.
That's how you get. That's how you.
Right, but I love being the nail. Nobody likes getting their ass kicked, but I mean, you get tired of being the hammer.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of rebirth when you become the nail. And I could only explain it to people, but they have to feel it themselves.
Yeah, they can't really.
Not being able to walk the next day, feeling broken and reborn.
Yeah.
It's kind of like throwing more wood in the fire.
When you thought the fire fresh was burning, wood. Their fire was bigger. Yeah, and your fire was turning off. You just got to use the right. It's going to sound weird, but you just got to use the right wood.
Yeah,
like that's all it is. The right fuel, the right drive, and you have that from going up there and training. It tells you, it tells you you're better than you were giving yourself credit for. Yes. And B, it gave you opportunity to now know another step and another goal, and you're like, oh, dude, cool, another notch, another ring to climb to, because I was looking for that. Now I found the next path up. And that's good.
Who did I spar? I didn't even know. Apparently, the guy had 26 fights. He's a UFC fighter, top 15. And they threw me in a red room with him to spar. I'll tell you this, I only went 2 rounds with him.
Ouch.
2 rounds with him. I blew my water. His heart rate didn't rise a bit.
Oh, he was probably just warming up.
He fought me like he had 26 fights. I only have 6.
Patient, timing, waiting.
He would get so close, and I'll be like, oh, damn, you're too close. And then I'd throw, and then he'll counter right off of that.
Yeah, he was really forcing you to, like, burn energy to be like, well, I need to do something. Yeah.
Put me against the wall, and I was, like, really exhausted.
Where you should have just thrown a punch and foot stepped and shut the corner. You're out the hole, and you're gone.
And I was moving too much when I should have moved, or faked throw. Like
built to different openings.
And all that I was thinking about all week, and how I can progress, talking to my coaches, and just game planning and how to grow. And I feel like that trip of being a nail made me grow as a martial artist, and now I don't even care what happens in that cage. I'm ready for everything, anything, anywhere.
Isn't that a best feeling when you go and get your butt kicked by guys better than you and kind of hold your own still? It's like, yeah, dude.
I got head kicked for the first time. I'm pretty good at blocking. I got head kicked for the first time.
You got set up for it then.
By Bunch, some short dude that fights in the Bellator.
Nice. Why do I know that name? I know that name.
He's like an Olympic
I know that name, Bunch. Like that nickname kind of thing.
He's gonna fight this Friday. Yeah, but
then he'll be
pretty good. And he's like, all right. I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
And
go show
I
me how
was
you
like,
did
whoa,
that.
I'll take that for me for life. Like
Yeah.
first time I ever got head kicked like that.
But then you know what to
Flush.
look for. You can just adjust on the fly. You're
I
like,
seen
okay.
what he did too.
Yeah, nice.
Pulled my glove down, kicked right behind.
Oh,
me.
nice. Yeah, Doug would like that. That's rough.
I was like,
Because he just pulls it and he's already kicking as he pulls it down.
the next day my jaw was hurting because all the neck was like kind of disaligned.
Just
It was
all
pulling
shin?
on my jaw muscles, and I was like, and I got adjusted by Doc, and
That's
it's all
all.
good.
That's all shin. That's all that is, man. That's just nice, painful shin. But we were talking earlier about the whole doing just what you do in your fights, and like the rest will come. And we were talking about how some fighters take a different direction and stuff. Like for example, what I mean by that is you got a guy like Yoel Romero, for example. We were talking about this earlier, and Adriel Asanya fight. Like what? Like how do you go on a 2-fight losing streak and then get offered a title shot? Like that just makes zero sense. And everyone's like, oh, it's entertainment. Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, that tells me that just your roster is really, really weak then at that weight class, because if you don't have anyone else, you just had the number 4 guy fighting for a belt. So don't tell me that you don't have anybody that, oh, well, he's in the top 10, but he's low top 10, and we don't want to. Why, dude? You just had a number 4 fight for the title, and you've got a 2-loss streak fighting for the title. Like, where's your gauge there? And it's solely around the dollar, but at the end of the day, they also might be under direction of the new buyers. That's like Zuffa doesn't technically run it anymore. It's just everybody that still works there is more of a, I almost want to say that their title is probably like something specific consultant or something, or they were hired on for that job within the organization, but it's not Zuffa. It's just WMAD or something. It's an entertainment organization, basically is what it is.
But Romero's a freak of nature. Like,
he is. Dude's like what, 39
it's
or
like
something?
Brock Lesnar. Like he could lose, but if you put him back in, everybody's gonna watch.
So then,
that's
okay,
Romero.
the
He's on his
UFC,
way. He's like 40.
the UFC is the top spot. UFC Gold is like, you're the best of the best in the world at your weight class, at what you like, beating people up. You're the best at. So what does that say when you have an organization that's supposed to be respected and seen at that caliber? It's not like they've gone, oh, okay, we're in the entertainment business now, screw it, we don't care what we look like. Then that might be what they've done. But you've got them at the top where everybody's shooting for that gold. You're not shooting for Bellator gold. Nothing against you, Scott. Nothing at all. But you're not everyone's waking up going, I want to be Bellator champion. I want to be one champion. Maybe in Singapore and overseas and stuff, maybe over there it's I want to be the one champion organization. But here it's UFC. Most of the world, it's UFC. Everybody that starts fighting out, they're like, dude, I want to be UFC champion one day. So what does that tell me about your organization, that you are now going to put into a chance that a dude on a 2-fight losing streak just beat your champion? What if he goes in there and just fucking smashes his reel? What does that say about your organization? It's like, yeah, we got guys that are on 2-fight losing streaks. They'll just come in here. We'll put our champ at risk. I mean, or if I was Yoel, I'm just like, you guys really don't fucking think I can win. Like, yeah, that's the whole thing. Is because would they really put their guy at risk? No.
I don't know.
Maybe they think it's a gimme. It's like, dude's on a 2-fight losing streak, bro. He'll gas. Just dance around him for a while. You got reach, you got range, you got mobility, all that stuff. Gas around. Like with them picking Cerrone for McGregor's next fight. They handpicked that fight because he'll bang and he looks good doing it. But they think he's kind of on the tail end of his career kind of thing. So they're like, we'll pick off one of those lone wolves that are just kind of falling a little behind the pack now. They're still dangerous, but we can get them under by themselves. So I think that's the scenario they saw. And I mean, we saw the result. He just fucking demolished Cerrone. So I think that's kind of what they're thinking here.
I heard that he wants Sanchez now.
Who, Cerrone?
McGregor.
Or McGregor? Diego?
I heard he wants Diego
The
Sanchez.
fuck's the
He's
point
one
of that
those,
fight?
Like, just guess if he makes a couple million fighting these.
And that's the
guys
problem.
He knows
He's the
he
only
can
one
beat.
making money on those fights. But Diego called him out for it. Diego was like, let's have a Legends fight. Hold on. McGregor's not a legend yet. And Diego is. Don't get me wrong. Diego's been around since before Ultimate Fighter even existed. That dude's back from the day. So
How about that last performance?
okay, so here's the thing. He was losing that fight anyway. He was going to lose on the cards. He was not winning that fight. Short of clipping him with something Diego Sanchez style or an elbow or something and dropping the dude, he was losing that fight. Even Diego knows
Couldn't
it.
get close.
So he was losing to a better fighter, and I don't know. Like, personally, I've had blood dripping down in my face. When I fought Faber, it was just gushing because he split me open here. So every time I did this, fucking here comes Faber with a drop elbow on me. So I know the risk. I know the danger. I know how dangerous it can be trying to wipe blood gushing into your eyes, out of your face. And that's what that was going to do. That was just going to pour into his face. I don't know. I don't think he did it in the sense of, oh, it's an easy win. I think he did it in the sense of, I don't have to go out on my shield. Dude fucked up. Had he not done that, I wouldn't have this cut. I might have still had a chance. By doing that, he totally eliminates just about any chance I had of winning this fight, even though I was probably going to lose anyway. Right. But there's always a chance that he can drop that left hand, that right hand, that whatever, and finish the fight. It's Diego Sanchez. Like, the dude's a legend. So it's possible. But by having that cut, dude, that took any percentage chance, even if it was like a 3% chance to win the fight, down to almost a 0. Because he's going to be keeping. He's not going to. That's it. That fight's going to be screwed. He's going to get hurt at that point. Too, right? Yeah, he's going to get fucked up at that point, and that's what he knows too. Is dude, this guy's already fucking me up. Yeah, he's going to crush me right now if I can't see. So,
walked out of there with the double paycheck.
Walks out of there with the double paycheck.
This guru coach. What do you think about his guru coach? He only had one coach, and he wasn't in like a MMA coach. He was like
I know. I'm not one to judge on any fighter in the world that steps in, that has the balls to step in there, and how they go about preparing themselves. And we all know he has a real coach. We all know he has a conditioning coach, strength coach, nutrition coach. We know he has all that. But when it comes time to bang, I mean, maybe he kind of goes over it with his coach that we know what the game plan is. We've gone over it. I need somebody there in between rounds that could remind me to stay focused, stay calm, whatever. I mean, poker players will call their life coach in between hands and be like, dude, I just lost a hand. I'm really stressed. Like, I can't get over that hand. What was the technique again that we went over to practice to get out of it? How do I zen that out, or whatever it is? Because they have life coaches.
What do you think about having 3 coaches or one coach like Diego Sanchez?
I think it's dangerous, and I think it's foolish. Not judging anything against Diego specifically, but the idea of one coach versus 3, I think it's foolish. You have one coach that's there that can remind you of the game plan, can adjust the game plan on the fly. He might see something you're not seeing and going, dude, he's dropping his jab. Every time he jabs, it's coming low. We have the side angle, it's dropping low, dropping low. Bear paw and right hand, whatever, or throw a head kick as the punch comes back, he's going to be low and he'll have slower react, whatever it is. Yeah. If you have one coach, you can get away with that. But let's say your coach is mainly your striking coach and your conditioning coach. He's not your ground game coach. So you go in there and the dude's just taking you down at will, like you're a wrestler, just fucking taking him down at will. Can't stop you, can't finish you off. His ground coach needs to be in there to tell him, you need to change A. Here's what he's doing. He's not as dangerous as it's looking right now. Just remember, butterfly sweep to the left. He's giving it to you all day. He's stacking heavy on that arm. He's passing you every time because you're not going for it. Block the wrist, lift, elevate, boom, he'll go over. And the first time you do it and he does, your confidence will boost in the fight because you'll be like, oh, hell yeah. So you need that, or if you're getting just your ass kicked on your feet, you need the coach to come in there and tell you, here's what's going wrong. You don't need just one. You can get away with 2.
Three heads, 3 brains.
3 brains, 3 heads, provided they're letting one talk at a time. Like if I'm on the ground the whole fight, I'm not going to listen to my striking coach unless he says something very specific for 10 seconds, and then he shuts up and the ground guy goes, okay, here's what you're doing wrong. Listen for 30 seconds. And then you spend the next 20 seconds breathing the whole time while you've been slowing your breathing down. You focus on them, you stare, you literally try to zone everything out. You don't try to listen to anything but them, and just breathe it out and listen, and then they'll direct you to the next person to listen to. And they'll say, okay, remember, we talked about this left foot step switch. Whatever it is, you've got a minute. It doesn't seem like a lot of time. So I think limiting yourself to one is a mistake because you're robbing yourself of potential information that you're clearly not seeing. That if it's just a striking coach, he's going to go, sweep the leg. So you got to have at least 2. 2 is the minimum I would say get away with. And one of them has to have knowledge of your ground game and what you're capable of and what the game plan is on the ground. And the other one can be your conditioning and striking coach. Or they can swap roles or whatever it is. But one of them has to know your striking. One of them has to know your ground game. Otherwise, you're going to
be like a mental coach, a jiu-jitsu coach, and a stand-up coach. That'll probably be the best.
Mental coach could be good. I can see a mental coach. But you got to think about, remember, now, like I said, 60 seconds can be a long time when utilized correctly. But if you're going to only have... what is the mental coach really going to tell you?
Fire you up
in between rounds.
Fire you up. What if that round went bad? And it broke you mentally.
Okay.
Like,
so how much time do you commit to listening to him?
You need him. Well, just even if it's 20 seconds, just trust your cardio. Just that simple word that that you
Now get ready for the information on what to do next. Remember, trust. We talked about this. Trust A, trust B, listen to C. Now, Mike, go, and then he can go. Okay, you're losing your jab or whatever. Once he's gotten into your mode, you can spend like a good 15, 20 seconds of him just going. Remember this. Remember that. Don't panic. Don't push. Don't rush.
Remember this. Like that helped me out before.
Don't get discouraged if something doesn't land. Remember, just it's a whole fight, not one move. Yeah, things like that. Okay, I could get behind that. And you could commit about 15, 20 seconds to that. You got to have a team that's on board with it, though.
How about swimming? What do you think about swimming?
I think swimming...
I see Dominic Cruz, how they go like underwater and they pick up weights. And
I think swimming is better for your body overall than running. Remember, when you run, especially on a treadmill, I hate treadmill running. You're not doing anything.
Sprints are better.
Sprints are better, but remember, that solid ground impact is impact on your knees. Yeah. Swimming is a full body workout. Like play some water polo. Bro, you will drown.
I do laps and
you do laps and stuff, but gotta remember, you're setting a conditioned pace. Play a game of water polo, because the thing about water polo is like a fight. Fight can be bang, 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 bang.
I don't even know what water polo is.
So water polo would be the equivalent of soccer in water. You
have a football,
you have a small, thin helmet with your number on it, and that's all it's for. You get goggles and some tatatans, and you got a volleyball kind of thing. Okay. And the whole goal is just you're playing soccer in the water, so you got to stay afloat the whole time. With your team, you got to move fast to get open. You swim. Boom, and then you got to jump up out of the water and shoot it. You got to try not to get tugged down. There's times where you scramble for the ball. So like fighting, it could be a small pace, and then you go from 0 to 60 for like a minute, and then boom, you're back down to 30 miles an hour again. And you're just trying to catch your breath, move again, set it up, and then boom, you're back up to 60. There's intervals of explosiveness. You can go a whole fight and not have too much excitement, and the last like minute is just balls out. Yeah. So you need to be ready for that. Just random expectation of you're already going fast and you hit the nitrous to get a jump on the guy. You're already expecting more out of the engine, and you ask for a little more. That will wear people down if they're not used to that sporadicness. And just swimming laps kind of gives you that on par type cardio feeling where you need to shock your body. You maybe if you're going to do laps and then on whistle it's and you dive and you got to find 2 or 3 bricks before you can come back up, and you come back up and then you show the bricks and you drop them and you go back to swimming, and the point is to win the race. The goal is still to be first. So you got to keep pushing fast, but then you got to hold your breath. You're throwing your rhythm of breathing off, and that's where that real gas tank comes in. That's why wrestlers have such a solid gas tank, because you guys are so used to the scramble. Yeah. Your whole sport is a scramble. The whole time you're going, and then you go really fast, and you go fast, but then you go really fast again. So you're always going. The whole sport itself is predicated on scramble, beating into the punch.
That's how I get trained. I train for go, 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 go. And like I said, when I was sparring, I felt like it was go, 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 and then they weren't. They weren't going. You know, and I was like, wait a minute.
What are you doing? Overdoing? Like, what you're thinking to yourself, like, hold on.
Like, I'm just gonna try to get this guy tired, and like, he's not even moving. He's not getting tired.
Why isn't he? Why isn't he getting tired? Yeah.
Season real composed in the fight.
Like when we saw McGregor fight Mayweather, we all knew what was going to happen. He was going to get tired. Even though he was doing well, it's like, oh, I'm sitting there shaking my head going, dude, he's going to get tired. He's throwing so many more. I've already counted. I'm like, dude, he already threw more punches now than like his last couple fights combined. Like he's already overthrown, and it's round 3. Arms start to get tired, start to get slow. Pop, 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 pop.
Take him out.
You know, and that's all Money was waiting for, because he knew that his cardio was not geared. His muscle arm wasn't geared towards, well, not necessarily like his, but it wasn't geared towards boxing. You know, unless you're throwing like 1,000 punches a day or something. I know it's some crazy number that like in boxing, they'll be like, you need to be throwing X amount of punches a day, X amount of body shots, X amount of hooks, uppercuts or whatever, to build that muscle endurance so that you can throw those 130, 140, 150 punch rounds for 10 rounds. That's over 1,000 punches when you think about it at the end of the day. So, and like I said, my boxing knowledge is that of a toddler. So these could be like way exaggerated numbers. They'd be like 1,000. No, bro, like 200 punches a day. You know what I mean? Like
an hour or two of shadow boxing.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe. To build that. Well, you got to have some impact. You got to have that impact, so you actually have to use that muscle. Shadow boxing is good for warming up, stretching the muscles out, but I don't think shadow boxing should ever be considered for a use of cardio, because you're not hitting anything. You're not really getting that real world experience where when you, like if I was on a bicycle all day and I was training for a bike race, a marathon or like Tour de France or something, I'm going to warm up on a stationary, but I got to get on that bike and get on that road somewhere, and I got to push. That's why I'm such a Nancy about treadmills. I don't like treadmills. Like I'll use a treadmill for warm up and that's it, because it's you're not doing anything. You're just lifting up your legs. It's like where's the payoff here? I'm burning calories, sure, and I'm getting warmed up, but I'm not getting any cardio. Like you'll get long distance cardio if you run at a decent pace and do whatever. Yeah, you'll get long distance cardio, but you're getting no real running, no road work. You're not getting that.
I like the ladder. I like setting up the ladder and doing different type of footwork.
Ladders and footworks, yeah.
Like 30-second rest.
Making your body, gas, yeah. Shock your body on the whistle, things like that. But yeah. Do the laps, like Don, do dive, like on the whistle. Like your whole goal is, okay, you don't know how many times coach is going to blow the whistle. He might do it once that lap, that heat, but he might do it like 3 times the next one. And you're just boom, 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 boom. You got to get the brick, show it, and go again. Like that would really shock your lungs as far as like, are we breathing or holding our breath? What are we doing? And then if you can't find the brick, that makes you stay down even longer.
You know what I heard that beets, like if you like juice beets, that it increases your oxygenizes your blood,
probably,
and then it increases your hang time underwater by 30%.
And 30%'s a lot.
And imagine in a fight feeling like you're drowning, and like I don't know.
You'll get that feeling later in the fight than you would have been used to. Like maybe around the end of the second round, if it's been a tough one, you're like, I'm getting okay. But where maybe you don't feel that until like maybe halfway through the third. Like the top one, because you see those guys, they come out, they just look fresh. Yeah. But diet's got like, it's got a lot to do 90% to do with like how your performance is in your fight. You know, like if you got a race car and you're putting, I don't know, Chevron Shell crap gasoline, 87 octane in it or whatever, and you're just filling that in there, bro, that's gonna run like ass.
Yeah.
And it's gonna run really cool for like maybe a day or two, and it's gonna start burning that crap fuel, and it's gonna start gumming up the engine blocks and the cylinders and the pistons and all that stuff. You're gonna start by day 3, you're gonna be misfiring. You're not even gonna be able to get off the line. So it's diet, but so when you think about that, foods that are high in oxygenating your blood is a key component into extreming your cardiovascular circulation. You got muscles, you got to feed them with oxygenated blood.
Learning how to breathe and when to breathe.
Exactly.
During exercises. Those are the questions I'm asking now.
Nutritionalist.
When I'm doing this clean, where do I stop and breathe at? Like, where can I? Because I was feeling dizzy. So those are the questions I'm asking so that I can, kind of understand
the science of it a little more, and how your body is working and why.
I'm an overall student. I'm still learning.
Yeah, and the more you know about your body, you can be like, okay, I know what that feeling means right before you hit that second wall. So you're like, okay, just keep going. You know what I mean? Like where you might be like, dude, maybe I am getting tired, but you've pushed through it before. So you're like, no, I know my body. That's just me getting ready for that second win. We're gonna be good in about 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the more you listen to your body, the better off you'll be. That's 100%. But yeah, the food you put into it, almost like 100%, bro, is like a main component. I mean, you got how you train, how you recover. How you recover is actually probably bigger than like how you train.
Don't understand that. Like, I take a whole day off. Like my coach said, take a whole day off.
You do ice baths or cryo?
Just wake up in the morning and it's just a progressive run, just a quick jog. Is just a lap, 2 laps around the park. Go inside and just stretch for 45 minutes.
You do cryo?
And then cryotherapy. I do cryo.
Do ice bath?
No, I don't do ice baths because it freezes up your internal organs.
You got to do ice bath.
I've done it before.
Yeah, okay.
But I prefer the cryo.
Cryo's better. It doesn't shock the organ's temperature to core drop.
They put the boot on and it freezes and compresses. And
you can be
shout out to the bodybuilding for that.
Specific.
Maybe hooking me up.
Yeah, you can be specific about where you target it and stuff versus like you said, you're dumping your core temperature so fast it does shock your organs. That's why it makes you like feel like ass because you're just like, dude, well, you're shocking your body, but it's really good. Like the extreme cold in the muscles is really good.
The nitrogen is just over the layer of skin.
It doesn't penetrate the core. You're hitting everything that needs it. Like the outer layer of your core where your midsection is where you're going to move and stuff. Yeah, but not so much of a deep penetrating cold because you're sitting in it and you're just chilling your whole body. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy old school, but
I don't think people understand how cold that is. It's like negative 190 or 200 degrees.
Inside the wrap boot or whatever?
Those chambers.
Oh, okay. Full body chambers?
Yeah. It's like negative 200. Like if you walk out on a 30 degree to go throw the trash without a shirt, you're freezing.
You feel cold.
3 minutes in a negative 200. Yeah.
I bet you feel really, really good
you
after.
You must be crazy. No, it's when I like it when I'm beat up, like when I got leg kicked and like I could barely walk. I feel like that. It's kind of like icy hot. Like when you put icy hot, it feels good. It feels good. Like
it's got a little warmth to it.
I like better when I'm damaged going in there. which is
Yeah,
honestly
because
every week.
you can notice the difference when you come out. You feel a lot better, and you're like, oh yeah, you know that worked, kind of thing. Versus just, I don't really notice a difference. I wasn't really hurt. It was Tuesday afternoon, But if you go in there after a good hard training session where you're just limp and you're just like, oh, dude, my hair's so bad, and you go in there
I
and
like it now.
well, yeah,
I went in there Monday, and I got in there Tuesday.
how many times a week can you do
Wait,
it?
I got in there Monday after I came back from AKA. I went right after, and then Tuesday I went right after, and I got the boot.
How many days can you do? Can you do it like every day and no risk, or do you have to take like time off?
I don't know. And I just did it twice because I was like, let's speed it up. I got to get back to training.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Everybody wants to, but you got to like you said, recovery is like one of the big parts.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you're parking the car and changing the spark plugs after every race, all that stuff. Like you got to do it,
I guess you put your body into this stage where it kind of feels like it's gonna die, like you're gonna die, and all the blood rushes to your core. And then when you get out and you're going back to normal temperature, it flushes back out
with fresh blood.
Kind of like when you hold the water hose and you bend the water hose.
Yeah.
And then once you release it,
it just launches,
and then that flushes all the soreness, all the lactic
Imagine
acid.
it feels like when you get an IV, you feel them shoot the medicine and fluid into you. Can feel it going in your veins, kind of thing. Like if it's cold. So I imagine that's what that feels like, shooting that back out of your body.
Yeah, you walk out of there feeling light, like whoa, I feel light.
Interesting. I wonder.
I tried going into the sauna right after that. Because just to warm it out and keep everything fresh. I think that's the thing to do. I think they got at the UFC Performance.
I was gonna say, is that something that would you ever try that before a fight? You should try that one day, like just how you use it for the recovery. Try it, and then go have a hard sparring session. See, or they may say no, don't do that. But I would ask. I would say, hey, this is really good for recovery, but how it makes me feel after. I want to transition that same type of feeling into before I have to fight. So maybe try it before a really hard Friday or weekend sparring session, and then do your hard sparring session and see how you feel. Like see if it feels any different, if you feel less. But like I said, I would ask the cryo doc first and say, hey, I was thinking about this. Dum had this crazy idea of trying this because the way it makes my body feel, I feel light, I feel good, my muscles feel strong. Like what would working out after hard be? Like if I did it before a hard sparring day, and he'd say, oh, I wouldn't, you're not going to notice a change or anything, but I wouldn't, if your body's in a recovery mode state or whatever. Or he may say, no, I never thought about that. Try that. Let me know how you feel. You know what I mean? Yeah. Be my guinea pig. I don't know.
They call it restarting the system.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is it's the equivalent of like when you wear heavy gloves.
It's supposed to make you hungry 30 minutes after.
Oh, I imagine it fatigues your appetite severely. Yeah,
there's calories in there too when you shiver too. And
well, yeah, you're shivering at such a high rate probably, and your heart rate's probably going up trying to deal with the panic of getting cold, and all your extremities are basically being, frozen to a state of almost, motionlessness, so that when it gets that rush of fresh blood, and that opens up the capillaries, and the muscles absorb it really fast, and they get hot, fresh, oxygenated blood right away. It's not a delayed time where the blood's getting filtered in and out. It loses a lot of oxygenation. Your blood kind of gets dulled out. Yeah. So that's why it feels so good. If I understand the science right, you're getting a massive dose of oxygenated blood right away, and your muscles are just sucking it up. Good. And that's why. So man, before a fight might be that might be the ticket, dude. That's like wearing heavy gloves and then taking them off and then hitting the pads, bro. Your arms will feel so good. You're like, dude, give me those. I want to wear those before the fight. I'd done that before. If I wore the heavy boxing glove, hit pads for a while, and then took those off, and I was just like, holy shit, my arms feel good.
I think I do it opposit. I use the gloves, and then after I'm done hitting pad work, I pick up the 4-pound weights, and I burn out. I call them burnouts.
Yeah, just until that's what you're teetering your heart.
It was like a real fight where like, I can't keep my hands up no more. That's kind of what I want.
Your muscles are fatigued already.
Used to that. I can't keep my hands up so it doesn't happen in 15 minutes in the fight.
Well, yeah, and that's like starting in side control all the time and going, okay, start side control. You're starting in a bad spot. Yeah, you need to be in a bad spot because, again, I referenced Cerrone and McGregor. Their camp saw something when he clinches. That wasn't just a random, I just came up with that on the fly. That was a very instantaneous reaction to the clinch. He just started ramming it in because they saw something. Because Cerrone's usually taller than his opponent, so he probably hunches over a little bit when he really tries to jam that knee in.
He tries to put that head.
Yeah, and so, but to do that, he probably looks down, and when he does that, bah! So they probably saw it, and it wasn't hey, if he gets you in the clinch, it was when he gets you in the clinch. At some point, you will get clinched with Donald.
Because that's how you stop the striking. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, you
either
clinch
in or
him
you're
up.
out and
Exactly. So they're telling him it's gonna happen. This isn't one of those. Oh, if he goes for the high kick, we've never seen him throw a high kick, but if he does, no. This was when you get clinched, because that's what Cerrone does. That's how he kills you.
Yeah.
He gets his hands on you. So when that happens, do this instantly. Do this, because that was a muscle memory thing. He wasn't like they danced around for a while and then he kind of they had it. No, it was bang 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 bang. As soon as he landed a good one, it was put the pressure on, go go go. So that was a practiced scenario and type counter. So you're gonna get that kind of stuff no matter what. I mean, but it makes you feel good. So when I reference that, it's that you can get that oxygenated blood, you can get that rush. It'll open up your valve. You'll just feel better. And like I said, he moves a lot better at that weight class now. So there's always got to have a plan, but doing it before a fight.
There's all kinds of ways of recovery. There's like hyperbolic chambers. There's all kinds
the elevation chamber. Dude, go fight in Utah. Go, bro. Dude, I'm telling you, go fight in Utah. It's Utah and Denver. I think I fought twice in Denver. Both times I was just like, oh, dude, the air is so thin. Like I can't breathe. Like it sucks. I have no oxygen acclimation whatsoever. And the time I went to Colorado, I think was the second time I'd been there.
Isn't like Big Bear over there?
Big Bear is up there. I think Big Bear's down in LA, I think. That was Ortiz's main camp thing for a while. But there is
Ferguson's out there or something like that.
Ferguson, who else? There's lots of guys that are out in Colorado, and because their oxygen tank is just. So I went up there and I took one of those elevation masks. You know, the one that's supposed to restrict your oxygen, that gimmick thing for a while. But I took one of those up there and I hit the treadmill the first night I got there and I put it on and I set it to the highest flow, restriction. And then I just started running on the treadmill. Ran around the inside of the gym there at the hotel and whatever, just ran anywhere I could. I was forcing myself to get acclimated to a better oxygen environment. So by depriving myself of an already oxygen deprived air, I just went double time on it. And the first night I was there, dude, I took it off and I started breathing. It was like breathing like normal. I didn't feel less oxygen in my lungs. I didn't feel my body just acclimated overnight because I kind of forced it. Yeah. I'm like, dude, we're going to really deprive ourselves because anything more than what we're getting for the next hour is going to be gold. Now, I'm sure there's a science behind it. It's probably more psychological than anything, but it made me feel like I could breathe. And that was good enough for me. So like we said, with a mental coach in between rounds, but you should do cryo before.
That little word that just, I remember.
Refocuses you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really argue against it, provided that the mental coach is a set decision between the other coaches and he's not taking up a space for like where your jits coach would have been. You know what I mean? Like you can't sacrifice something that you need for the fight, the physical part of that battle. Mental's good, but like you need to make sure that you have everybody there telling you how to properly use your tools for the physical part, because that is the main. I guess physical would be 10%, 90% mental, because people break or don't break all the time. So I guess if you want to look at the factors of it, but I could support a mental coach, but just one. No, I mean, again, like I said, tell me later that you're going to find out that coach is there for every one of Diego's training sessions, striking sessions, ground sessions, and has gone over the game plan multiple times with each coach individually and knows the game plan and what to look for, what changes to make. But you can't do that without years of experience as a jits guy or a striking guy. Like you have to have that years of experience. I just don't see that one guru guy having it. But at the end of the day, Diego might be, dude, I've been in this game so long. What is the coach going to tell me in between rounds that I don't, that I'm not going to already know?
Nobody can really help you in there.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're on your own, literally. So maybe I just need somebody to keep me focused and centered on what the goal is, because it's going to get bad. So what the goal is when it gets bad and how to stay focused.
When he opened up with that front flip.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you know what's funny?
It was cool. He got him in the back. The second time was a little too far.
All the crazy stuff you see Diego do, well, it's not crazy. It's just the very individualness that Diego Sanchez has created of who he is as a martial. Remember, he represents himself as a martial artist. He'll never tell you, I'm a fighter. I am a martial artist. And that is true, 100%. He is a martial artist. He's one of your definitions of it. People just may not agree with his methods or whatever, but I worry less about him, and I worry more about Henry Cejudo and the things he does and says and who he calls out and why. And just the way he's going about it just seems like it's not, like I've said it before, like it's not him. Like I think he's just got the wrong person in his ear going, yeah, do that. That'll be smart. Like
WWE
what?
stuff.
Like yeah, like he's talking about Jose Aldo bending. Like didn't like why? Like I mean, isn't first off the 135-pound title is I think the only one he has right now, right? Because he got the 125 from Demetrius, hasn't defended it. To my understanding, Benavidez and somebody else are fighting for that spot. Yeah, so he's not even a double C right now. So this whole, it's quadruple C now. What? Okay? So, like, I don't get it. Like, then Jose doesn't even have a belt. Yeah. Right? So it's like, what fourth are you going after, bro? What's this triple C? When were you even triple C? Is it because you're double champ and your last name's Cejudo? Is that what you're, like... Somebody's in his ear telling him that this is all a good idea and how to go about it. And it's just not him. Yeah. Like, I know people have illuminated and shown me videos and stuff of he was kind of like that before, but not to this extent. He's just either kicked it up a notch for no reason and gone full fucking Dennis Rodman.
Like, it's entertainment.
And that's,
Bring a snake.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, you can do entertainment wrong, too, and look like a jackass. And that's what he's doing. I think he's not as good as he's letting himself be on to believe. So it's like he's setting himself up for a hard fall. Yeah, like if he was just quiet and just said, hey, I got one belt, I got two belts, I'd love a third. You know what I mean? And actively defending them or whatever, then I could see, yeah, dude, bro, let the dude eat his fucking cake and have it too. That dude's a badass. But he's not. He's just real loud, real boisterous, making waves for no reason other than to make waves because you got a new waterbed. And like I said, bro, you're not even double C right now, to my understanding. Like, you're 1C. How'd you get to 4? I don't get it. So
him and Aldo would be a good fight.
I think it could be an entertaining fight.
That's legendary status.
But again, you're calling out somebody who's probably on their horse towards their last sunset, as far as their career goes.
At 135, he's.
I don't think it's at 135 or 145. Aldo. I think it's just different Aldo, whatever Aldo. That's, bro, you got a shelf life.
Yeah, you're right.
He's been fighting for as long back as I can remember, you know, and he's been through some fucking wars. I mean, some wars. So he's almost, I would put him on the same level of the battles he's gone through as Vanderlei Silva. Oh. And that motherfucker's been through some wars, like back-to-back wars. So
I used to get called Vanderlei when I was a kid.
Just vicious.
I was just wrestling by my neighbor.
Yeah, vicious.
Who I was influenced towards his MMA scene.
Oh, well, that's not a bad... Dude, there's not a bad game plan to go after.
He was in Pride.
Yeah, when he's always Pride days, bro. They would just sit there and just bang it out, bro.
The Rampage and all
those gloves, they're different. Something about those gloves makes you think you can just fucking swing on people. So I don't know. They're softer. They're soft. Dude, yeah, that was this dude. He came from Old Valley Tudo days, shootbox and stuff like those. That kid was a beast when he was just being groomed to just destroy people. Like. Yeah, like he'd probably kill somebody, not even felt bad about it back then. Like just ice cold, bro. So I attribute the same way I look at Vanderlei as far as like the wars he's been in and the damage it's done over time, and like you can only take so much of that. Fighters have a limited shelf life, and that's even with the expanses in recovery and nutrition and training methods and smart training and just all that stuff. Like everything at your disposal was just light years ahead of what it was a decade ago. So the shelf life is good. But everybody coming out of those eras where the shelf life was already an expected shelf life, you make it with all today's advances, you can extend that a couple years maybe. But even Aldo's like near the end, you know, he's got. Maybe because he looks a lot healthier and smarter and stuff. He's got maybe like 5 more fights in him. I could see 3 to 5 fights, but at the same time, it's like he doesn't have a belt. What are you bothering calling him out for? Why don't you start poking fun at everybody that's waiting in line at 35 and 25? Like, why aren't you calling them out? Like, who cares what they're ranked?
They just want
they want the money fights because they think that'll get them money. But it's like, bro, just wipe out your division, make money that way. Just be like, dude, nobody can touch my belt. Get in line. Who wants first? The first guy to respond, put it on Twitter. First guy to respond, I'm in the weight class, I'm in. I'm like, you have to be a rostered UFC fighter in that weight class or weight class above or below it. And you have to be able to fight on this date.
They probably feel like they established their legacy already and it's just like, okay, I've got all these belts here. Let's just get this money now.
Yeah, but he hasn't established really a legacy of sounding like somebody who's just full-blowningly arrogant. Like, he really hasn't done anything all that exciting. Like, I almost feel like Demetrius lost to him on purpose so he could go seek bigger paychecks overseas. To be honest, I mean, call me crazy, but he's been making bank over there, and he's been king of the hill over there. Like, so I mean, he went right back to being dominant. Like, I'm not saying he lost on purpose, but I know Matt Hume is really fucking smart, and he's the guy that told him, "Quit your day job, you're going to become a champion." And Demetrius did it, and we've seen what happens. He's been a legend as long as you can remember now. He created that weight class. Yeah. So I could also see Matt going, you have a shelf life, make your money for your family and build your future. Let's go overseas. I could totally see that scenario having happened, you know, because he's not going to walk away from the belt. He's not just going to give it up. He would have stayed around just for the fact to try to keep the weight class going because they were going to cancel that out. And I think he was going to move up to 35 and challenge or something. He was going to move up weight. So at that time, he's like, we can move up a weight class, forced move up and into another weight class from a weight class we've been dominant at our job. We've done it to a T. Or we can go overseas, stay at the same weight classes, and make 3-4 times as much money.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about sponsors because they'll just be handed to us. Basically, with Demetrius' name, they're just handed the sponsors. Like, would you wear this one? Would you wear that one? So, I mean, I don't know. So it just, I don't like what he's doing. And I don't have to like it. You know, at the end of the day, he can go, well, fuck Escovedo, who's that guy? I'm the one with the UFC belt. Yeah, true. But you're shooting yourself in the foot. I don't have to worry about my entertainment image anymore as far as fighting goes and things like that. I don't have to worry about that. I've established my name or whatever, how people remember me, good or bad, win or loser, that's how they're going to remember me. That's fine. That's fine. I don't have to justify it. It almost seems like he feels like he has to justify it somehow. Like he's trying to build himself up. And I don't know. He's an example of going wrong.
Set himself up for WWE.
And he could be doing that too. He's tiny for WWE. Man. He's a little tiny for WWE. I don't think they would take him. So, but you know, you heard the bell. So I want to get your pick on a couple things before we let you go. And that's what I want to ask you too. Can people get tickets for the 28th fight card through you still?
I haven't even got tickets, bro.
You haven't got tickets?
It's about next week. I haven't even got tickets.
Oh, yeah, because it's only like, what, the 18th, 19th? Still like 10 days
tickets.
out.
I'm probably the only fighter out here who hasn't got tickets.
What,
and
dude?
I'm the number one seller out here.
What, Mike?
Weird, huh?
What happened?
I don't
Why?
know what's happening, man, but I got everybody trying to scramble for those right
Man, yeah, I would imagine that, 'cause that's going to be a really good card.
People in DMs telling me for tickets. I'm tired of opening them and telling them.
Have you just screenshot them and send them? I'm not saying it's Mike's fault, but
I'm
whoever
I'm just opening the mailbox and just showing everybody it's not there yet. Tuesday, Wednesday. You know,
But what you need to do is you need to screenshot just like 10 random fans that are saying, hey, how do I get tickets? Why don't you
I'm
have
going to
tickets?
have a meet and greet this Sunday in Parlier, California.
Okay.
And I'm hoping these tickets are here by then because that's what it's for. I'm not going to go there and stand and meet people. I need to sell tickets that day. So, if you guys are listening, get those tickets to me.
Have they just not? I don't really know how to ask the question. I don't put anyone on the spot or anything, but
I feel played. I make commission. I make good commission, cash, and
then
sometimes more than my own fight pay. And
I would be a little more aggressive about it if I were in. This is nothing against Combate. I'd say as general as a fighter, like
keep it. I'm here to fight on this one.
Well, then your manager or somebody on your behalf should be taking snapshots of those and sending them to the powers that be that involved with giving tickets to fighters and going, look, when are we getting tickets? Because we need to start selling. We have people waiting to buy them. Like, why are you not letting them buy them? Like, I don't know. If you have short numbers, then you have short numbers. But like I said, I like Combate. I think Mike runs a great show, but that is from a fighter's perspective, that's a very rough scenario.
There's a fight going on this Friday. What is it? I think it's in Combate. So I think they're more focused on that right now.
Yeah, no, and they're like less than a week apart as far as those show goes. Yeah. So I can understand that. But at the same time,
everybody else has tickets.
Well, everybody else has to make money still too. Like you, as a fighter, you're like 10 days out from a fight. You should be able, and they may say, no, here's your tickets, and you can just sell them all at once.
Yeah, I only got like 100 of them.
Yeah, and they'll probably fly.
Like
yeah, they'll probably fly off the shelf. But it can get frustrating. I can see from a fighter's perspective, that's a frustrating feeling to be, and you kind of feel hogtied, without the ability to do anything about it.
I haven't even posted anything about me fighting.
No.
Like a flyer. I have the flyer. I'm not posting it until I get my tickets because I'm not going to send everybody to your box office and you're going to leave me with empty pockets. You know? That's kind of how I feel.
Have you tried just saying that?
No. I'm just not. They're not promoting me. I'm not promoting you. You're not giving me my tickets. I'm just going to go out and fight and win this fight.
Yeah, no, I can get behind that. Trust me. I've effed off enough promoters in my time to just be
trying not to...
Yeah, no, and that's hard. And that's what I'm saying is you should only really be worried about the fight. Like there should be somebody in charge of that for you at this stage in your career, at this point in the fight camp. Like there should be somebody that when they hit you up for tickets, you should be like, "Here's Mike's number. He'll take care of you."
Yeah,
they appreciate the support. Can't wait to see you there.
I stationed Ticketmasters, like go to my gym. Maybe I left some tickets. Go to the store over there. I left some tickets there. Just people in charge with it. They could leave me alone for a bit while I train.
And there should just be one person, and that's where the argument for managers comes into play. Like to a certain point, there has to be somebody that's taking care of that for the fighter, because your job is the fight. Your job is not selling tickets.
Hire somebody. I'm gonna have to hire somebody and win the fight.
All right, guys. So Alejandro here is looking for an intern. If you would like to take a whack at being Alejandro's, I guess we would call it manager, fight week manager or something, handles your swag, handles your, merch, tickets, merch. Yeah, merch manager, you handle dealing with tickets. You get the tickets from the promoter. You sell the tickets. You get the money back to the promoter. You get the T-shirts out to the fans and stuff like that. Like, if you have an interest in interning, shit, I'll intern, dude. It's fun. I'll just do it for free. That's what everybody says anyway.
With the commission off the tickets.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're a hustler, if you're a hustler and you got time to move those tickets around, because you're gonna have to take them to different spots. But I know it's not hustle this, hustle that, but your fans want to know. So it's gonna be Friday the 28th, or is it gonna be a Saturday?
Next Friday.
Okay, so it's gonna be next Friday the 28th at Save Mart Center. It's going to be Combates. It's gonna be the USA versus Mexico card is kind of how they're billing it. That's gonna be headlined by Adrian Guzman. It's another local guy. So maybe go out there, support the show. It's local MMA. You got to support it, because if you don't, you're gonna miss out on some great fights. You're going to miss out on some potential champions, future champions, guys that are going to move on down the road. And if you don't support local MMA, you're not going to get local MMA. These big shows coming to town, if you don't show up, they're not going to come back. And then you can't complain about, well, we never get any MMA, we never get any real MMA. It's all gone. Well, you have to show up. So show up, support it.
This card be the lowest card I've sold tickets on.
That would suck.
Yeah.
I mean,
watch my numbers decrease.
So,
because I don't got my tickets in hand.
But
I usually have like 3 meet and greets lined up.
When those tickets come in, where can they get them? How can they reach you? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Alejandro Avalos 135.
Okay. And that's for all of them, Facebook, Instagram, everything? Okay.
And then this Sunday we'll be having a meet and greet. So I'm hoping they're here within these next couple days.
When and where's the meet and greet?
At Pack Auto and on Manning and Parlier.
Okay, so you heard that, guy. So an opportunity to go and meet him and get an update on it, ask him, get pictures, things like that. Because you got to remember, you want to take pictures with these guys now, because everybody starts somewhere, and a belt holder somewhere started somewhere. So you want to start getting these pictures now, guys, because you want to be able to have them and brag to your friends and say, dude, I remember just like a rookie card picture. You know what I mean? Like, it's those guys that start out, like, you got to get in there and support them and do that kind of stuff.
I see people with my first shirts, and I'm like, damn.
Right?
Can I sign that?
Yeah, dude, I'm so jazzed that you're wearing that.
I don't even have that one no more.
Right? Those just kind of get lost over time. Man, so Parlier or on Sunday at Pack Auto at what time?
At 12.
At 12. So go out, grab some lunch, things like that. Check it out, guys. Come out and support Alejandro. And hopefully we have an answer for you on tickets at that point, guys. So, again, guys, remember, this is Cole Escovedo, Parlier, California, Sunday.
That's where it's at.
Remember, guys, this is Cole Escovedo with the Fighter's Voice. Every fighter has a voice, and so do you. Make sure you guys go and give some Richard support. He is on assignment covering the Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury fight in Vegas for the Fighter's Voice. That is where he is at, on location. So we're going to have some content coming up after the weekend, guys. Interviews with promoters, boxers, fighters, everybody involved with those events there. Richard always goes out there. He makes sure he gets the goods for you guys, so keep an eye on that. The Instagram, the Twitter, the Facebook. We will have more content coming from you for those fights this weekend. Alejandro, anything else, man, before we cut you loose?
I just want to thank the Fighter's Voice for having me on the show, man.
Totally, man.
You guys
anytime.
are always taking care of me here, and I really appreciate it.
I like it. All right, guys, as always, thumbs up for Richie, and that's it.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week. Remember, it's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Cole Escovedo, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kick-Ass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.